This is Dakota News Now.
Good evening, I'm Jenna Lemaire. Thank you for joining us here at 10. The Senate trial of former President Donald Trump has come to a close. Trump was acquitted by the Senate after a 57-43 vote. 7 Republicans voted to impeach the former president, but this still wasn't enough. The Senate would have needed a 2/3 majority in order to charge him on the grounds of incitement. Both Senator Rounds and Thune voted not to impeach the former president, stating that he is no longer the president and therefore cannot be impeached. We're going to turn to Austin now. With these temperatures getting colder and colder, we might see some records tonight, right?
Yeah, we actually even broke a record today in Sioux Falls, the coldest high temperature, which we'll talk about in Maine weather in just a few minutes. Let's get right into those alerts because we have wind chill warnings in place for not only almost the entire Dakota News Now viewing area, almost the entire state of South Dakota in of itself. The only exception is the far southern counties near Yankton and just east of Winter. And that will go through noon tomorrow for areas around Pierre and Aberdeen, and then for Brookings and the Sioux Falls area until 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And I am more than certain we're going to see that extended further into the night, Sunday, and possibly even into Monday night as well. Just some cloud cover across the southern and southwestern portions of South Dakota. Otherwise, it is a clear to partly cloudy sky. 10 below right now in Sioux Falls, feeling like 27 below zero with a 9-mile-an-hour wind. Aberdeen, 16 below air temperature. You factor in a wind, it feels like 39 below zero. And in Pierre, 14 below, feeling like 28 below zero. And temperatures, most areas already down into the teens, maybe getting close to 20 below zero at this hour. You factor in a wind about 5 to as high as 15 miles per hour, Jenna, and you're looking at wind chills again, 25, 35, even in some areas, 40 below zero. But there is some good news in that 10-day forecast, and a lot of you guys are going to like this, so you'll want to tune back in a few minutes to find that out.
All right, thank you, Austin. As these temperatures continue to drop across the region, most are hunkering down indoors. But it's important to remember that your pets aren't fond of these frigid temperatures either. Cordell Wright has more on how to protect them in this cold weather.
As this cold front continues to move through the Midwest, there are extra steps you can take to protect your furry friends.
We're seeing really extreme temperatures right now, and most of these animals are used to being indoors.
It's really cold out there. We got to kind of watch out for our four-legged friends.
Be extra cautious when you let your pets outside.
If they're out there more than 5 minutes or so, you definitely want them to get back in.
Try to keep it short, quick potty breaks, no long walks, no sitting outside unattended.
You want to try and avoid your animal being exposed to the cold.
Any household pet right now, you're looking at frostbite, really kind of textbook things that humans can get.
Some believe that because of their layer of fur, pets can stay outside longer.
But the common household dog is not usually accustomed to the cold temperatures that we're experiencing now.
If your dog or cat experiences frostbite,
a big thing is to make sure that you don't warm them up too quickly.
Kind of a slow but steady warming.
And if it's severe,
the best thing to do is get them into your veterinarian right away.
Some believe that the length of fur can also help. However,
a short-haired dog or a short-haired cat, we might think that way, but when it's this cold, that part doesn't matter.
If your pet can't stay inside with you,
have them in your barn, have them in your garage, make sure they have really good insulation.
A helpful tool for insulation is straw.
Stays drier, warmer, they're able to maintain their body heat better.
But the best rule of thumb is,
if it's too cold for you to be out for a long period of time, it's too cold for your pet.
And if you think today is cold, tomorrow is going to be even colder. So make sure to take precautions to protect your household pets. In Sioux Falls, Cordell Wright, Dakota News Now.
A COVID-19 test will not be required for you to fly within the United States. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention decided not to recommend tests for domestic air travel. Earlier this week, federal officials said that they had been considering making it a requirement, but ultimately decided against it. Turning to a COVID-19 update, the South Dakota Department of Health is reporting 7 new deaths in connection with the virus. Today's report also includes 137 new cases. Active cases fell below 2,200 for the first time since early September. Also, the state has now vaccinated over 100,000 people. South Dakota remains as one of the states with the highest vaccination percentages. If you're affiliated with the VA and still need a COVID-19 vaccine, you're in luck. From 8 to 3 tomorrow, the Sioux Falls VA will be administering the COVID-19 vaccine to anyone affiliated with the VA over the age of 75. You can come in without an appointment to receive the vaccine. The state's ACLU had an open forum today to speak on transgender issues in South Dakota. We'll have more coming up. Austin?
And dangerously cold conditions are likely over the next several days, but we are looking at much warmer temperatures in just, say, a couple of days. I'll take a look at that in your first alert forecast coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
Know Your Bible, Sundays at 9 a.m.
Winning Motor Total Cash. Your chance to save big on a Ford SUV won't last. Hurry to your local Northland Ford dealer today.
And welcome back to Dakota News Now at 10. Like I've been talking about, it was record-breaking cold for the Sioux Falls area today. High temperature today, just 1 degree above zero. Coldest high temperature to date, oddly enough, set back in 2020, 2 degrees. I'm watching 2 records for tomorrow, and I'm more than certain it looks like we are going to break that. Coldest high temperature, -1, record low of 21 below, going a high of just 7 below and 27 below for those temperatures. In Aberdeen, close to tying the coldest record high temperature today at 4 below, and we'll be close to that record low tonight of -30. I'm going for a low of 29 below. In Pierre, forecasting 20 below tonight, the record low is 24 below, so we could get pretty close to that, but it's more than certain we'll be seeing records in Sioux Falls and possibly in Aberdeen. Wind chill warnings in place through at least midday tomorrow towards Aberdeen and Pierre, through the early evening down towards Sioux Falls and Brookings. And like I've been mentioning, we're likely going to see this extended into possibly Sunday night into Monday, maybe even Monday night and even into Tuesday as well. So looking at this, the wind chill watch just means that conditions for dangerously cold weather is possible. So frostbite could be possible if steps are not taken. It's not likely, but it's possible. Wind chill advisory, you could see frostbite 15 to 20 minutes or less with 20 below to 35 below wind chills. And then the wind chill warning, wind chills colder than 35, and frostbite could be likely in minutes, and even hypothermia could be possible as well. So that's why we stress to dress in layers and even at most just stay inside where you don't really have to deal with that cold weather. We're not really dealing with much cloud cover either this evening for most of the area, and that's allowing the temperatures to really drop right now. Teens and even 20 below right now in Watertown. You factor in a north wind at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, and you're already seeing wind chills 25 to 35, and in some areas approaching 40 below zero. And across the upper Midwest, it is still very cold. 23 below in Bismarck and in International Falls, 17 below in Duluth, and even down close to zero towards Kansas City and the Omaha areas with wind chills, again, in the teens, 20s, 30s, even 40s below zero. When you start to see the colors go away, that's indicating lower than 40 below wind chills. So through tonight, we'll see temperatures, I think, going to be a little bit colder than what this model is forecasting. I think we're going to see more closer to 25 to 30 below up to the north. Tomorrow highs, not getting much better. Single digits to some areas even staying in the double digits below zero. And then another dangerously cold night tomorrow night, which is where I'm thinking we could see those record lows in Sioux Falls and maybe even a couple areas as well. It moderates a little bit better to the west on Monday, but still dangerously cold to the east. And wind chills, 30s and 40s below zero. Some areas can even see wind chills close to 50 below potentially. So dangerously cold, like I mentioned, it's best to just stay inside for the next several days and stay warm, and then that even continues into Monday morning as well. But there is good news in this 10-day forecast. We're up to 0 degrees on Tuesday, so it's still kind of cold, but after that we are warming up very nicely into the teens, 20s, 30s, and staying that way possibly into next weekend, even into the following week. Aberdeen, you're going from 4 below Sunday to 32 for a high on Friday, to even warmer than that. And then in Pierre, we could be hitting 40s potentially as early as Saturday, even 30s by as early as Thursday. Now, the trivia question, which we'll answer tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. So last week we talked about the coldest February temperature in Sioux Falls. What is the all-time warmest February temperature in Sioux Falls? And there are your choices right there. And again, we'll reveal that answer tomorrow night at 10, and also comment on Facebook. For now, we'll be back right after the break.
Bonder Sewing.
Welcome back. Today, several organizations came together to host an online forum called Trans People Belong in South Dakota, a legislative recap. Kevin Gonzalez talked with speakers of the event, and he joins us now with the details. Good evening, Kevin.
Good evening, Jenna. This event had speakers from the Human Rights Campaign, the Transformation Project, and the Black Hills Center for Equality come together with the ACLU.
The goal of these speakers was to serve as an educational tool for people wanting to share how trans people, not just in South Dakota, but all over the country, can be affected by bills aimed at them.
Every year it seems that January is a really challenging time for trans individuals in our state because of the fact that we see legislation that deals with transgender individuals every year.
Many different pieces of legislation were talked about during the forum, but one bill being discussed this year is one each organization knows all too well.
House Bill 1217, which would bar transgender women and girls from participating on sports teams that are consistent with their gender. That is, I believe, the 7th attempt by the South Dakota State Legislature to bar trans people from participating in sports teams. They keep revisiting it.
Those for this bill believe it promotes fairness in women's sports, while speakers from the forum believe this bill and others like it are harmful to those in the transgender community.
There's a statistic that says that 80% of Americans have never met a transgender person. And so one of our goals is to help legislators meet transgender people in their district so that they will get to know them, hear their stories, and see what kind of detriment these bills do to these individuals.
Those speaking at today's event wanted to use it as an educational tool, knowing there's still a lot of work to be done for transgender people not only here in South Dakota, but across the nation. Jenna?
All right, thank you, Kevin. Zach Borg has all the highlights from an exciting weekend in sports when we come back.
Winter's best deals are at your local Northland Ford dealer, where you can get up to $4,000 total cash on a new Ford Escape. Warm up behind the wheel of an Explorer with a